All right. Here we go. Got Sammy again here with me. Dog, it's hard to see him. He's kind of dark on a dark couch. All right. Push it down a little bit. All right. Hello, all my friends. I'm so glad you're here. Let's start out with a little song, shall we? I don't want to do it. Hello, everybody. So glad to see you. Hello, everybody. It's so glad to see you. Hello to you. And so glad to see you. Hello to Ballerina. It's so glad to see you. Hello to Luke Skywalker. So glad to see you. Hello to Rainbow Unicorn with a rainbow horn. So glad to see you too. Hello to Choco on a rainbow. So glad to see you. Hello to Sophia. We're so glad to see you too. Hello to Hot Wheels race car. So glad to see you. Hello to Shay. We're so glad to see you too. Hello to Silly Goose. So glad to see you. Hello to Neva. We're so glad to see you too. Hello to Henry. So glad to see you. Hello. I'm gonna add some what do you call it? Some sleepers. Hello to Roman. So glad to see you too. Hello to Elliot. So glad to see you. Hello to Abby. We're so glad to see you too. Hello to Baby Noah. So glad to see you. Hello, everybody. So glad to see you. Oh, I hit the high note. All right. Some cool books today. Let's see. Which one should I do first? They're both kind of long, so maybe I'll start out with this one, see what happens. This one's very interesting. It's like a folk tale, and it's called How Maui Slowed the Sun. And I don't know if anybody here saw Moana, but in Moana, they have Maui, and this is about him as well, but he's a kid in this one. He's not a grown-up yet. All right, let's see. Let's see who wrote this one. How Maui Slowed the Sun, written by Su-Lin Ching-Toon, and illustrated, that means drawings, done by Robin Yoko Birmingham. And there he is right there. This one's kind of long, so get ready. It takes a long time, you gotta pay attention. Maui opened his eyes and yawned. He looked out and the sky was clear. A good wind was blowing. What a fine day to fly a kite. He likes to fly kites, which I'd like to do that too. Oh dear, who's unmuted? Declan, keep unmuting yourself, bro. I see that. Maui looked at all of his kites. Today I will fly the biggest one, he thought. How high will it go? He wondered. Holding the kite string, he began to run. Faster and faster he went. A gust of wind caught the kite. It soared high into the sky. So there's a kite, and it looks like the tail of the kite, which is usually a scarf, is like a seaweed or something. The wind tugged at the kite as it danced in the sky. Up, up, up it went. Now I could hardly see it as it darted in and out of the clouds. He was having such fun. As the wind played with his kite, Maui looked around. He saw that the sun was going down. He saw shadows all around him. He said, "Oh no," he cried. "The day is so short. It's time to go home. Why does the sun cross the sky so quickly?" So he just started flying and already the sun's going down. Short days in this story. Maui walked along the beach on his way home. He saw two men. They were pulling their canoe up on the sand, and they did not look very happy. So they're pulling up their canoe there. think Maui lives like around Hawaii area. Maui peered into the canoe. How many fish did you catch? He asked. Not one, answered one of the men. The other man said, we know where there are many fish. It is not far from here, but by the time we reach that place, the sun is already setting. We have to turn around and paddle home. Maui asked himself, why is the day so short? Why does the sun cross the sky so quickly? So these guys couldn't get fish. Maui walked on. He came to a place where sweet potato vines grew, but only a few brown vines still circled around the mounds. He passed the patties where two taro grew, but only a few yellow taro leaves floated on the water. He passed the fields where sugarcane grew, but only a few dried stalks of cane still poked their heads above the ground. So the days are so short, the plants are having a hard time growing. Now he saw two farmers looking out over the bare fields. Why aren't you working? He asked. And one farmer said, we have no time to plant our crops. Our crops do not have enough sun to grow. The day is too short. Why does the sun cross the sky so quickly? Maui asked himself. So everybody's having troubles with the sun, right? Maui passed his mother's house. He heard sad chatting. What's the matter? Maui asked his mother. His mother answered, we work hard beating the tapa. I don't know what tapa is exactly. Then it must dry in the sun, but before it can dry, night comes and the day is so short. Why does the sun cross the sky so quickly? Maui, you must make the sun slow down. Oh, he wants his mom. The mom is asking him to slow the sun down. The kid. I guess he has powers. For days, Maui watched the sun. He watched it come up in the morning, and he watched it climb over this crater of the volcano and hurry across the sky. He watched the darkness come over the land as the sun went to sleep. I know what I will do, said Maui, for he had many magical powers. He made a strong rope and tied it into a lasso. Oh, he has magical powers, many magical powers. Up the volcano, Maui climbed. He took his lasso and his war club. When he reached the top, he hid in a cave. Oh, he went up a mountain and went into a cave. Okay. All right, at night, he goes into a cave with his rope. He's got his rope ready to go. The next morning, the sun's first leg, or ray, climbed into the crater. Maui whirled his lasso. It whipped out and caught the sun's leg. Quickly, Maui pulled the lasso tight. So here he is on top of the mountain. And as soon as the sun came up, he caught it. One of its legs, I guess, a ray of sun. The sun put up a great struggle. He strained against the rope that held him. He pulled with all his might. He tried again and again to free himself, but Maui held on to the lasso and would not let go. Who are you? Why are you doing this to me? Let me go right now, the sun cried. I use a big voice because I think the sun's pretty big. I am Maui, the fisherman. I am Maui. The fishermen need more time to catch their fish. The farmers need more time to plant their crops. The women need more time to draw their tapa. I think that's a kind of a food. I need more time to play. Promise that you will cross the sky more slowly. Then I will let you go. I will not promise, roared the sun. So Maui raised his war club high over his head, and with a mighty whack, he broke the sun's leg. Oh, dang. He has a club, guys, and he hit the sun's, like the thing, the leg, and broke it. Oh, my goodness. The sun tried again and again to free himself. Each time a leg appeared, Maui lassoed it and called, promise to cross the sky more slowly, then I will let you go. And each time the sun shouted, I will not promise. And each time Maui raised his war club and broke the sun's leg with a mighty whack. Wow, he's really being kind of violent, huh? At last the sun called out in a weak voice, stop, I'll make a deal with you. And Maui says, how do I know that you will keep your promise? And the son said, you've broken all my strong legs, said the son. I cannot move as fast as I once did. So he's saying, you slowed me down. Now the sun hurries only half of the year. During the other half, he moves slowly across the sky. Men have time to catch fish, and farmers have time to plant their crops, and women have time to dry their tapa, and children like Maui have time to play. Oh, and that's the end. Maui did it. Slowed down the sun. Kind of violent, though. I didn't know that about that part where he broke the legs. But guess you have to do what you got to do when people, when you need sunlight. All right, next book I have. Wow, that went faster than I thought. Next book I have is one of my favorite books. This is also very kind of longish. But that last one wasn't so long, right? So this one will be okay, I think. This one's called Mike Mulligan and His Steam Shovel. I really like this book. It's very old style. Okay. Steam shovel is like an old-fashioned, basically like a digger, a digging truck. Oh wait, who wrote it? Darn it, I skipped that part. Mike Mulligan and His Steam Shovel is written by Virginia Lee Burton. This is the same lady that did The Little House, and she did a couple other ones. Oh yeah, Katie and the Big Snow, I think we have. Anyway, she did the drawings and the words. And here we go. Mike Mulligan had a steam shovel, a beautiful red steam shovel. Her name was Mary Ann. Oh, I can get closer. This book's a little smaller, huh? Get closer, closer, closer. There she is. See her? She's a big, giant machine, basically. Mike Mulligan was very proud of Mary Ann. He always said that she could dig as much in one day as 100 men could dig in a whole week. But he had never been quite sure that this was actually true. He just said it because she digs so fast and so much. Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann had been digging together for years and years. Mike Mulligan took such good care of Mary Ann that she never grew old and didn't break down. It was Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann and some others who dug the great canals for the big boats to sail through. It's probably the Panama Canal, a very famous place where there's a piece of land that was very skinny between two oceans, and they made a huge ditch all the way across, and then the water made boats can go through from the what do you call it, Gulf of Mexico over to Pacific Ocean. It was Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann and some others who cut through the high mountains so that the trains could go through. This is a true story. You have to dig either a tunnel or tracks through the mountains to keep the track out. The train tracks have to be sort of not so steep. It was Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann and some others who lowered the hills and straightened the curves to make the long highways for the automobiles. And this always reminds me of Echo Park right there on Sunset, where it sort of cuts through the mountains and you can see whoosh, just cut straight down. It was Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann and some others who smoothed out the ground and filled in the holes to make the landing fields for the airplanes. She did all kinds of stuff, right? So it's more like an earth mover, I guess you'd call her. And it was Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann and some others who dug the deep holes for the cellars of the tall skyscrapers in the big cities. When people used to stop and watch them, Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann used to dig a little faster and a little bit better. The more people stopped, the faster and the better that they dug. Some days they would keep as many as 37 trucks busy taking away the dirt that they dug. So this is also how you build buildings. I don't know if you've ever seen when a building's getting started. Before they start building the building up, first they dig down into the ground to make it have a really strong foundation. Then along came the new gasoline shovels and the new electric shovels and the new diesel motor shovels, and they took all the jobs away from the steam shovels. So these are new trucks that do not run on steam. Steam is very old-fashioned. Steam is just hot water that you have to heat up. And let's see, this one must be gasoline, electric, I guess, diesel. maybe. Mike Mulligan and Marianne were very sad. Like they come to a job site and it says no steam shovels wanted. And they're sitting outside like, oh man. And she's even crying. I don't know how she's doing that. All the other steam shovels were being sold for junk and left out in the old gravel pits to rust and fall apart. Mike loved Marianne. He could not do that to her. So here's all some old steam shovels all broken down. Oh shoot, I got out of the picture, didn't I? Sorry guys. Broken down, and there they are. And he's like, no, we're never going to do that to you. He had taken such good care of her that she could still dig as much in a day as 100 men could dig in a week. At least he thought she could, but he wasn't quite sure. Everywhere they went, the new gas shovels and the new electric shovels and the new diesel motor shovels had all the jobs. No one wanted Mike Mulligan and Marianne anymore. Then one day, Mike read in a newspaper that the town of Popperville was going to build a new town hall. We are going to dig the cellar of that town hall, he said. He said to Marianne, and off they went. So they're going to go to Popperville. They left the canals and the railroads and the highways and the airports and the big cities where no one wanted them anymore, and they went way out to the countryside. So here's a city. Looks like New York kind of to me. Pictures are kind of small in this book, huh? And they're going over the hills, over the hills, over the hills to more out in the country kind of. They crawled along slowly up the hills and down the hills till they came to the little town of Popperville. There's Popperville, very cute. When they got there, they found that the selectmen were just deciding who should dig the cellar for the new town hall. Mike Mulligan spoke to Henry B. Swap, one of the selectmen. The selectman is just the person that decides who they're going to give the job to. I heard, he said, that you are going to build a new town hall. Marianne and I will dig the cellar for you in just one day. What? Said Henry B. Swap. Dig a cellar in a day? It would take 100 men at least a week to dig the cellar for our new town hall. It's going to be big, he's saying. Sure, said Mike, but Marianne can dig as much in one day as 100 men can dig in a week. Though he had never been quite sure that this was true. So he doesn't know. He keeps saying it, but he doesn't actually know. He never tried it. Though, then he added, if we can't do it in one day, then you won't have to pay. Henry B. Swap thought that this would be an easy way to get part of the cellar dug for nothing. So he smiled in a rather mean way and gave the job of digging the cellar of the new town hall to Mike Mulligan and Marianne. So he doesn't think that they can do it. So he thinks they're going to dig, not finish, and then he gets free. Oh, shoot. Lucy and Cashy. Sorry, guys, I didn't see you. Where did they go? Oh, yeah. Oh, shoot. Where did they go? Did they get in? I think they did. Hi, Lucy and Cashy, wherever you are. I don't see you on the screen now.
Oh, we're in.
Oh, good. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Gilbert.
Sorry, we're late.
No biggie. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah. So he thinks he's going to get free digging. Let's see, they started in early the next morning, just as the sun was coming up. Soon a little boy came along. He said, do you think you'll finish by sundown? He said to Mike Mulligan. Sure, said Mike. If you stay and watch us, we always work faster and better when someone is watching us. So the little boy stayed to watch. And they're just starting. And here's like the little markers of how big the hole has to be, the little corners. Then Mrs. McGillicuddy, Henry B. Swap, and the town constable, that's the policeman, came over to see what was happening, and they stayed to watch. Mike Mulligan and Marianne dug a little faster and a little bit better. There they are, getting ready. She's just digging up a storm. Just whoosh, whoosh. This gave the little boy a good idea. He ran off and told the postman with the morning mail, and the telegraph boy on his bicycle, and the milkman with his cart and horse, and the doctor on his way home, and the farmer and his family coming into town for the day, And they all stopped and stayed to watch. So he told them, you should come watch. This amazing thing's happening. It's going to dig it in a day. That made Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann dig a little faster and a little bit better. They finished the first corner neat and square, but the sun was getting higher already. So one corner is done. He's already down in the hole, digging, digging, digging. But the sun is already like almost like noon or something. Clang, 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 the fire department arrived. They had seen the smoke and thought that there was a fire because when a steam engine works, it makes smoke from burning the coal to heat up the steam. And, oh yeah, then the little boy said, why don't you stay and watch? So the fire department of Popperville stayed to watch Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann. When they heard the fire engine, the children in the school across the street couldn't keep their eyes on their lessons. The teacher called a long recess and the whole school came out to watch. That made Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann dig still faster and still better. And this is in such the olden times that I'm running out of time here. 10 minutes, 10-minute warning. Such olden times that this fire department is pulled by horses. The fire truck is a horse carriage truck. Very old times. They finished the second corner neat and square, but the sun was right up in the top of the sky. Okay, now it's noon, and they're just only done less than halfway. Now the girl who answers the telephone called up the next towns of Bangerville and Bopperville and Kipperville and Copperville and told them what was happening in Popperville. All the people came over to see if Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel could dig the cellar in just one day. The more people came, the faster Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann dug. But they would have to hurry. They were only halfway through and the sun was beginning to go down. They finished the third corner neat and square. Now she's making tons of smoke. She's really working hard. Rah, 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 just dirt, flying, smoke, everything. Never had Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann had so many people to watch them. And never had they dug so fast and so well. And never had the sun seemed to go down so fast. Hurry, Mike Mulligan, hurry, hurry, shouted the little boy. There's not much more time. Dirt was flying everywhere, and the smoke and the steam were so thick that the people could hardly even see anything. But listen, bing, bang, crash, slam, louder and louder, faster and faster. She's just digging, 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 digging. See all the smoke? Can't see anymore. Then suddenly it turned quiet. Slowly the dirt settled down. The smoke and the steam cleared away, and there was the cellar, all finished, completely done. 4 corners, neat and square, 4 walls, straight down, and Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann at the bottom, and the sun was just going down behind the hill. Hooray! Shouted the people. Hooray for Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel. They dug the cellar in just one day. Everybody's like, I can't believe it happened. Yay! There's a lot of people watching, right? Suddenly, the little boy said, how are you going to get out of the hole that you dug? That's right, said Mrs. McGillicuddy to Henry B. Swap. How is he going to get his steam shovel out? Henry B. Swap didn't answer, but he smiled in a rather mean way. He's not very friendly, huh? Then everybody said, how are they going to get out? Hi, Mike Mulligan. How are you going to get your steam shovel out? Mike Mulligan looked around at the 4 square walls and the 4 corners, and he said, we dug so fast and we dug so well that we've quite forgotten to leave a way out. So he didn't make a ramp. You have to have a ramp to get out. Nothing like this had ever happened to Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann before, and they didn't know what to do. Can't get out of the hole if you don't have a ramp to like drive out, right? Because the steam shovel is very heavy. You can't really pick it up. Nothing like this had ever happened before in Popperville either. Everybody started talking at once, and everybody had a different idea. Everybody thought that his idea was the best idea. They talked and they talked and they argued and they fought till they were worn out, and still no one knew how to get Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann out of the cellar they had dug. Then Henry B. Swap said, this job isn't finished because Mary Ann isn't out of the cellar, so Mike Mulligan won't get paid. And he smiled again in a rather mean way. Ooh, he's not nice. Now the little boy, who had been keeping very quiet, had another good idea, and he said, why couldn't we leave Mary Ann in the cellar and build a new talent hall above her? Let her be the furnace for the new town hall, and let Mike Mulligan be the janitor. Then you wouldn't have to buy a new furnace, and we could pay Mike Mulligan for digging the cellar in just one day. So he thinks he could turn the steam shovel into a heater, basically. Why not? Said Henry B. Swap, and he smiled in a way that was not quite so mean. Why not? Said Mrs. McGillicuddy. Why not? Said the town constable. Why not? Said all the people. So they found a ladder and climbed down into the cellar to ask Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann. Why not? Said Mike Mulligan. So it was decided, and everybody was happy. They built the new town hall right over Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann. It was finished before winter. Every day, the little boy goes over to see Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann, and Mrs. McGillicuddy takes some nice hot pies. As for Henry B. Swap, he spends most of his time in the cellar of the new town hall, listening to the stories that Mike Mulligan has to tell, and smiling in a way that is not mean at all. Now, when you go to Popperville, be sure to go down to the cellar of the new town hall, and there they will be, Mike Mulligan and Mary Ann. Mike in his rocking chair, smoking his pipe, and Mary Ann beside him, warming up the meetings in the new town hall. They turned her into a heater. Oh, that's cute. And that is the end. Yay! And I think that's all the time I have for reading stories anyway. All right, so I think we're going to go with the goodbye song. Can't unmute anymore. This is weird. I'm going to have to figure that out. All right, guys. So thank you all for coming. Sing the goodbye song, and I'll say bye-bye. All right. Sammy's still here. Hello, Sammy. Okay, here we go. Goodbye song. Well, goodbye, you win. Goodbye, you win. Goodbye, you win. I'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Franny. Goodbye, Franny. Goodbye, Franny. I'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Shy. Goodbye, Shy. Goodbye, Shy. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Josie. Goodbye, Josie. Goodbye, Josie. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Isabella. Goodbye, Isabella. Goodbye, Isabella. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Sophia. Goodbye, Sophia. Goodbye, Sophia. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Declan. Goodbye, Declan. Goodbye, Declan. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Shay. Goodbye, Shay. Goodbye, Shay. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Calvin. Goodbye, Calvin. Goodbye, Calvin. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Eva. Goodbye, Eva. Goodbye, Eva. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Henry. Goodbye, Henry. Goodbye, Henry. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Lucy. Goodbye, Lucy. Goodbye, Lucy. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Cashy. Goodbye, Cashy. Goodbye, Cashy. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Roman. Goodbye, Roman. Goodbye, Roman. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Elliot. Goodbye, Elliot. Goodbye, Elliot. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, Abby. Goodbye, Abby. Goodbye, Abby. We'll see you real soon. Goodbye, baby Noah. Goodbye, baby Noah. Goodbye, baby Noah. We'll see you real soon. Yay! All right, guys. See you later. miss you so much. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Kisses, hugs, hugs, hugs. I hope you all come back tomorrow, and I can't wait to see you in person someday.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye, Josie. I gotta figure out how to unmute you guys.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
This is about okay. Push button anytime.
Hello, I'm boy. Bye.